To start with our first lesson of week 2. We're going to be talking about multiple or compound events. Multiple or compound events are just the probability of things that happen more than one time. So last week we talked about the probability of spinners that are spun one time. Today we're going to be learning about what happens to the probability when we do things multiple times. Okay, before we begin, make sure you have a piece of paper and a pen or pencil and have numbered your paper 1 through 6 with enough space in between each one to do some work. All right, let's go ahead and get started with a quick review problem. So what is the probability that a coin will land on heads when I flip it? So remember, the probability, really we need to know the number of possible outcomes. So what could happen when you flip a coin? Well, you could get heads or a tails, right? Usually you'll see an H for heads and a T for tails. Okay, there are 2 outcomes. And the question is asking for the probability that a coin will land on heads. So there is only one side that has a head on it. So it is a probability of 1 out of 2. All right. I want you to try this one on your own. So please pause the video, give this one a try, and when you're done, press play, and you will see me go through this problem so you can check your work. So what is the probability that I will get a 5 when I roll this die? So when we're talking about a die, that's just one dice, okay? So there are 6 different outcomes when I roll a die. I could get a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6. I can't get a 7 because there is no 7. I can't get a 10 because there is no 10. There are only 6 sides with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. Okay. The question says, what is the probability that I get a 5? Okay. There is only one 5 on a die. So the probability of getting a 5 is just 1 out of 6. Okay, pretty straightforward from last week. All right. Now let's move on to combining these two. So we're going to look at a question that says, what's the probability of getting a heads and then getting a 5? So we have a coin in one hand and a die in another hand, and we're going to flip it, and then we're going to roll the die, and we're going to see how that impacts the probability. So question 3 says, what is the probability that I will flip a coin and it will land on heads and roll a die and it will have it land on the number 5? So we're looking at 2 different things here. We're flipping a coin and we're looking for what's the probability of getting a heads. Well, if we go back to that first problem, we know what the probability of getting a heads is. It's 1 out of 2. Okay, 1 out of 2. So I'm going to put that up here. Actually, I'm going to put that over here. This is for the coin. Okay, and roll a die and have it land on the number 5. Well, we just did that problem as well, right? The probability of getting a 5 was 1 out of 6. So I'm going to write that off to the side over here for the die. Was 1 out of 6. Okay, make sure you have that written down because we're going to come back to this in a minute. So in order to understand the probability of both of these things happening, it is really helpful to be able to draw an area model or a table to help us organize this. So we're going to talk about the coin first because that's what came up in the question first. And all we're going to do is we're going to list what could happen. Well, when I flip a coin, right, there's 2 things that could happen, heads or tails. That's on the left side. And our rectangle is I'll leave enough space because I know the second thing that's happening is we are rolling a die, and there are 6 things that could happen there. I could roll a 1, a 2, 3, I could roll a 4, a 5, or a 6. All right, and we're going to separate those into boxes by splitting up the possible outcomes here. So heads and tails, split that up so that I have a row with heads and a row with tails. And then I'm going to split all my numbers up too. Column with 1s, 2s, 3s, 5s, and 6s. This is a really good tool to see all the different possible things that could happen when you first flip a coin and then roll a die. So let's go ahead and put in each of these boxes what could happen. So if I flipped a coin and then rolled a die, I could first get a heads and then get a 1. You can see that heads is here, 1 is here, and then the next box would be a heads or a 2, right? I could flip a coin, get a heads, and then roll a 2. I could get a heads and then roll a 3. I could get a heads and roll a 4. I could get a heads and roll a 5, or get a heads and roll a 6. Okay, but I don't necessarily have to flip the coin and get a heads first. I could also get a tails first, and then I could potentially roll a 1. Or flip a coin and get a tails and a 2. Flip a coin, get a tails and then roll a 3. Get a tails and roll a 4. Get a tail and roll a 5. Or get a tails and roll a 6. All right, so this is super important here. What I want you to notice is that the first thing we do had 2 possible outcomes. The second thing had 6 possible outcomes. And I know 2 times 6 is 12. That means there are 12 possible outcomes when we do both of these things, right? And they're all here. Heads 1, heads 2, heads 3, heads 4, heads 5, heads 6. Tails 1, tails 2, tails 3, tails 4, tails 5, tails 6. Okay? So let's go back to the question. We're looking for the probability of getting a heads and a 5. There is only one square that has a heads and a 5. It's right there. So there are 12 possible outcomes. Right, we just named them all, but there's only one that gives us a heads and a 5. So the probability of flipping the coin and getting a heads and then rolling a 5 is 1 out of 12. All right, so I want to show you something here so that you can do this problem as they get harder a little quicker. I want you to look at the probability of getting a heads and the probability of getting a 5. So we're splitting these into 2, right? Heads is 1 out of 2, die number 5 is 1 out of 6. Watch what happens when I multiply these two. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 6 is 12. When you multiply each individual probability, so the probability of a heads and the probability of a 5, you get the probability of both of those things happening. You can see that we get the same answer. Okay, so keep that in mind as we move forward. Okay, on this next problem, I want you to pause this video and try this one on your own. When you're done, click play, and I will go through it, and you can check your own work. Okay, number 4. What is the probability that I will flip a coin and have it land on a heads? And roll a die and have it land on a 3. So this is a very similar problem. Okay, and I'm going to bring up pretty much the same table that I had before. Okay, to show you this is the same thing because we're flipping a coin, heads or tails, and then rolling a die, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, and all of the different possible outcomes. All right, so let's do the quicker way first, and I'll show you where we see that in this table. So, what is the probability I flip a coin and get a heads? Let's pause there. Flipping a coin and getting a heads is 1 out of 2, right? There's one head, there's 2 possible outcomes. Okay. What is the probability that I roll a 3? Well, there are only 1 3 on a die, and there are 6 possible outcomes. Okay. So if I take the individual probabilities and I multiply them, I should get my answer. Okay. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 6 is 12. The probability should be 1 out of 12. Okay, let's just double check on our table first. So I'm looking for the probability of a heads and a 3. So which one has an H and a 3? There is only one, right? There's only one. There's where the 1 comes from. And there are 12 possibilities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12 possibilities. So you can certainly use this table, but this is a much quicker way to do that problem. All right, can we apply it to a different situation? So let's look at number 5, and then you'll try number 6. What is the probability that I roll a die and have it land on a 6, and spin the spinner and have it land on a blue? So we are going to use our strategy from before. What's the probability I roll a die and have it land on a 6? So when I roll a die, the probability of getting a 6 is 1 out of 6 because there are 6 possibilities. You could roll a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6, but there is only 1 6 on a die. Okay. And spin the spinner and have it land on a blue. So if I look at this spinner, I see that there are 4 sections. Those are all my possible outcomes. And there is only one that is blue. Okay? So the probability of both of these things happening is just the probability of each one multiplied. Okay. 1 times 1 is 1. 6 times 4 is 24. You could certainly draw an area model or table, and you would get the same thing, right? There are 6 potential possibilities for a die and 4 for the spinner. 6 times 4 is 24. That means there are 24 different options. Only one of them would give you a 6 and a blue. Okay, let's try the last one. I want you to try this one on your own. So pause the video, try it on your own. When you're ready, press play, and we will talk about how to do this problem. Okay, number 6 says, what is the probability that I spin the spinner and have it land on a red, and flip a coin and have it land on tails? Okay, so first I'm going to look at the spinner. The probability of getting a red is 1 out of 4. There are 4 options, only one of them is red. Okay, what's the probability of flipping a coin and getting a tails? Well, there are 2 sides to a coin, but only one of them is a tails. So the probability of both of those things happening, so spinning the spinner and then getting a red, and then flipping a coin and getting tails, is just those 2 probabilities multiplied. So 1 out of 4 times 1 out of 2 equals 1 out of 8. Okay? And that makes sense, right? I could do a blue heads, blue tails,